Hello and welcome to Verdict 2015. Well, the high voltage campaigning for the third phase of assembly elections in Bihar are over and it is less than 24 hours to go for the polls. Well, all news and updates from the poll-bound state of Bihar in the next half an hour. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning election headlines. Preparations complete for the third phase of assembly elections in Bihar. Bihar Chief Election Officer speaks exclusively to Rajya Sabha TV, says strategy is to create awareness to excise franchise. Union Minister and senior BJP leader Arun Jaitley says the outcome of a state election is not a referendum on the centre. Confident the BJP will sweep remaining phases. Election Commission's unique attempt to motivate people to vote. Rural voters campaign asking urban voters to excise franchise. And we throw the spotlight today on the electricity woes of Bihar. Though the situation has improved over the years, there is still lots that needs to be done. Well, the stage is set for the third phase of elections tomorrow. Now, 50 constituencies in 6 districts will go to the polls in third phase. Voting time in 40 seats is from 7 in the morning to 5 in the evening, while in the remaining 10, it is from 7 in the morning to 4 p.m. Well, 808 candidates are in the fray, including 71 women. Now, 14 seats in Patna, 10 in Saran, 8 in Vaishali, 7 each in Nalanda and Bhojpur, and 4 seats in Buxar will go to polls. Well, it is a prestige battle for Lalu Yadav as the two of his sons, Tej Pratap and Tejaswi Yadav, are standing from Mahua and Raghopur, respectively. Polling has already been held in 81 assembly seats in the first 2 phases on 12th and 16th of October, and polling in 4th and the 5th phases will be held on 1st and 5th of November, respectively, while the counting of votes will take place on 8th of November.
I'm joined by Chief Electoral Officer of Bihar. Welcome to Rajya Sabha Television, sir. 2 crucial phases are over. Of course, the third phase now. How are the election preparations going on?
Election preparations are complete, and on 28th we are going in for the third phase elections. So 6 districts and I think 50 assembly constituencies will be going to poll. So our preparations in all aspects are complete.
Right, sir. In the earlier phases, we saw impressive voter turnout. This time around, what are you really doing to motivate voters so that they come out in large numbers and cast their vote?
Our strategy is now well defined, well honed, and is all pervasive through all media. And we had very peaceful for the first time elections in Naxal affected areas. So all in all, people have been quite defiant in Naxal areas. They have come out and voted.
So Election Commission this time has been very vigilant. There has been large-scale seizure of black money and liquor. So what are the steps further to really beef up security?
Our emphasis has always been on not only free, fair and transparent voting systems, but also free from any kind of undue influence. So we come down hard on any instance of distribution of cash, liquor or things like that. So in that process we have a very robust expenditure monitoring mechanism. Cash maybe around 18 crores plus I think we have busted a Hawala racket of about 20 crores. Then liquor, maybe 6 lakh liters of liquor has been seized. Nepali currency around 20-60 lakhs. Apart from that, even narcotic substances. I think we've had 400 grams of heroin and nearly 400 kgs of ganja.
Lastly, the Election Commission of India wants deployment of central paramilitary forces across polling stations. So what's your strategy now to really ensure free and fair elections and actually peaceful elections?
We are a little fortunate in the sense that we are a standalone kind of an election going state. So consequently we have a large contingent of central police forces at our command, and therefore we have been able to deploy them at every polling station. And therefore, the confidence among the people naturally tends to be higher if the polling stations are manned by central police forces vis-a-vis the state police force.
And my colleague Kriti Mishra, in fact, is joining us live from Patna. Good morning, Kriti. Now, you spoke to the Election Commission in Bihar. So, stage is all set for the third phase tomorrow.
Absolutely, Aishwarya. The Election Commission has beefed up security in the state. So as many as 1,107 central paramilitary forces, those companies would be, ensuring that peaceful elections take place. Each of those companies would have 100 personnel along with the state corps to ensure that there's ground security. 5 helicopters and drones would keep a vigil from the sky, as well as 47 motor boats would be there in the rivers surrounding these 50 constituencies. So around 808 candidates are there, including 71 women and more than 1.45 crore electors. So the Election Commission has also tried to elicit maximum voter participation. Along with that, there are more than 14,000 polling stations, and around 6,700 of them have been declared critical. So webcasting would also take place. So all in all, stages set for the next phase. Aishwarya.
Kriti, multiple challenges really for the Election Commission there, and not just about the preparations, but the Mahagathbandhan leaders have knocked the EC's doors several times, alleging poll code violation by the Prime Minister as well.
Absolutely, Aishwarya. So leaders of Mahagathbandhan have approached the Election Commission alleging that Prime Minister has violated the model poll of conduct. So, of course, Election Commission has taken a stand that it would take a review and go through all the rules and procedures, and any action that would be taken would only be according to the established rule and procedure. Over to you, Aishwarya.
All right, Kriti, you keep tracking all those developments in Patna. We'll keep coming back to you. So, stage is all set for the third phase of assembly elections in Bihar. Remember, it is going to be polling for the 50 seats that will be happening in this phase, and the campaigning continues. Now, meanwhile, for fourth and the fifth phases in Bihar, the Prime Minister will address 3 rallies today. Now, Narendra Modi will address the rallies in Sitamarhi, Bettiah and Motihari. All the 3 constituencies go to polls in the fourth phase on 1st of November. The third phase of elections, remember, will be held tomorrow, in which 50 constituencies will vote. Well, ahead of the third phase of polling in Bihar, now Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the outcome of the state election will not be a referendum on the centre, but he expressed confidence that the BJP will sweep the next 2 phases. Jaitley said that the first 2 phases, where 81 out of the 243 assembly seats went to polls, were historically never BJP's stronghold, but the party will be ahead of its rivals. For the next 2 phases, he said that the BJP will sweep North Bihar. However, he did not hazard a guess on the 5th and the final phase, saying that the equation of the 57 seats going to the polls on 7th of November is different from the first 4 phases. Well, asked if the high-voltage Bihar Assembly elections are any kind of referendum on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government at the centre, he has said that it is not. However, he said that if the BJP-led alliance wins, it will strengthen the centre and raise its capability to help Bihar. Jaitley also expressed confidence that the BJP will form a government in the state along with its allies, even if it were to get a clear majority. All right, senior journalist Mr. Krishna Kumar Singh is now joining us live from Patna. Good morning, Mr. Singh. Sir, now the stage is all set for the third phase of assembly elections. And now we just heard Arun Jaitley there. He's saying that it will not be a referendum. Any kind of result in the Bihar elections will not be a referendum on the centre. How do you view this comment?
Oh, well, this is what Arun Jaitley is telling. I think this Bihar election will not be a referendum, but it will have a great impact on the functioning, working of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There are so many economic reforms are there. All are hinged on Bihar elections. If the NDA loses this Bihar election, the nationwide impact will be as Nitish Kumar also shared and other different leaders of opposition are telling, that this will be a very, very crucial impact on Narendra Modi's government. And this Narendra Modi will have to change his style of functioning. And whatever this Mr. Arun Jaitley is telling, and there will be no referendum, right? There will be no referendum. There is no referendum this Bihar election, but will have great impact on the ongoing economic reforms of Narendra Modi being carried out by Narendra Modi government, and the political aspect also, the way the country is moving towards intolerancy. This will also, these people will be very conscious, and Narendra Modi will have to change his course of action. And I think this Narendra Modi, this election, Bihar election, will have great impact on the government of Narendra Modi.
All right, it is
How
going to
far
have a
this
great
Mr.
impact.
Arun Jaitley is telling.
No, but Mr. Jaitley also said that he spoke of the first two phases where he said that the first two phases were historically never BJP's stronghold, but the party will be ahead of its rivals. Do you think there is some sort of lack of confidence which is showing in such sort of comments that are coming in?
Definitely, Kapoor. This lack of confidence in first two phases. The BJP will not be badly involved, but this BJP has many seats in those constituencies, and they have not fared better. Only due to lack of poor coordination being done by this Amit Shah in collaboration with Narendra Modi. And Mr. Jaitley is telling that the first two phase constituencies has no influences of NDA or BJP. Just he is telling something different thing. And BJP has definitely very, there many seats would have been of BJP if the things would have been managed in better way, in coordination with this alliance partners, and like Jitan Ram Majhi's stronghold is Gaya, the old Magadh regime, and also the Ram Vilas Paswan, and this Lok Samta Party leader Kushwaha, because Kushwaha had won that election from this old Shahbaz regime. Then how he is telling that BJP had no stake, had no stronghold? I fail to understand.
All right, so, but BJP is definitely pinning its hopes on the third phase. How important this phase is going to be for the NDA. We'll just come back to you, sir, and discuss all of that. Meanwhile, taking a cue from the last few general elections, when the voter turnout in urban areas was lesser than in the rural constituencies, the Election Commission has launched a special campaign to motivate urban voters. Now, countryside voters will urge their city counterparts to step out of their homes and exercise their franchise on the polling day. Take a look.
Some people in rural Bihar have come forward to send messages to their urban counterparts. In the plush Patna Eco Park, Vibha Lal is on a serious job. A Madhubani painting artist from rural Madhubani, he has come all the way to Patna to motivate people to come out in large numbers and vote. And many are taking Vibha's message seriously.
शहर में लोग को छुट्टी मिलता है वोट के लिए, फिर भी वोट नहीं देने जाते हैं। हम लोग तो गांव में भी सब काम काज छोड़ करके जाते थे वोट देने के लिए। इसलिए हम गांव से शहर में आए लोग को प्रेरित करने के लिए, लोगों को बताने के लिए कि वोट कीजिए, क्योंकि वोट हमारा अधिकार है और वोट करेंगे तो हमारे देश का भी भला होगा, गांव का भी भला होगा।
मुझे विवाह इस बात करके बहुत अच्छा लगा और मैं जरूर वोट डालने जाऊंगी।
This novel campaign will target the voters in the state capital, which saw a mere 45% turnout in Patna urban segment in the 2014 Lok Sabha polls against a state average of 56.28%. Even in November 2010 state assembly polls, the urban Patna constituencies saw a lower turnout than the rural seats. while Bankipur, comprising most of central Patna, saw a mere 36.96% polling. Kumrar had 37.33% turnout, Digha 38.31%, and Patna Sahib 45.86%. In comparison, the assembly seats in the countryside, such as Maner, Phulwari, Masauri, and Bad, saw over 50% polling.
With the help of a public relation department and a couple of NGOs, we have been able to further take on this campaign forward. So as of now, we have 2-3 TV commercials and 2-3 radio jingles on these lines as to rural people addressing urban voters.
The main event of the campaign, messages mostly on postcards, have been stringed together and displayed like a bunting on the major thoroughfare for voters of Patna before the polling day tomorrow on October 28. Voters have been urged to participate in polling on a large scale, as their participation would shape the future of Bihar and the country.
The concept behind this campaign is that people in rural areas, despite being daily wagers, sacrifice their wages just to exercise their votes. In contrast, people in urban centres do not vote despite the day being a public holiday. So rural voters are motivating urban voters to strengthen India's democratic framework. Reporting from Patna with camera person Saroj, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
All right, a novel initiative there by the Election Commission. Let's go back to Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh, now urban voters, how important are the urban voters really for this election, especially when we talk of the third phase? Now, there are a number of urban areas that fall in this particular phase. How important are these urban voters going to be in this Bihar elections?
India is a country of villages, and these urban voters, they never care to vote in the elections. But in rural areas, the people are very particular, persons are very particular in exercising their mandates. In Bihar, the urban people take election in very casual manner. Only the committed party workers go to polling booths, and they in whole hog the urban people do not go for exercise their franchise. This is a great slur on urban people who are said to be the very conscious, but they are not conscious. India, it is rightly said, India lives in villages, and the real meaning of democracy, the only rural India knows, this parliamentary democracy. These urban people only flying high. Even though the committed voters are there and they get their seat for respective parties on exercising their votes in very low number. These are the things. As regards to earlier, you had told about this Patna has 14 seats, the entire Patna district.
Yes.
And this Saran has 10 seats. Patna is said to be, the Patna urban is very BJP dominated. Once upon a time, it was a left dominated the urban areas. But now it is a BJP dominated. Almost all seats are backed by BJP. Hence the BJP is in formidable position.
Yes.
But there are minus points also. The local MP, the MP from Patna Sahib, the great senior star, he is very popular in Bihar. And his absence is telling upon the health of this time on the BJP. And his absence is very much strongly felt over here. But however, the BJP is in a stronger position in almost all the seats of urban areas.
All right.
And the Saran, another district, the Saran, where 10 seats are there, there also BJP seems to be in a stronger position, although the Saran regime is said to be the hinterland of this Lalu Prasad Yadav. But the dominance of upper caste over
Yes.
there, they have made the position easier for BJP.
Right. So this
And
phase,
hence,
yes.
after these two districts, there is a Nalanda,
Nalanda
completely under the control of Nitish Kumar.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, hello.
I'm sorry, sir. We're just running out of time. But a very important point that you've made there, that the third phase is going to be really crucial for the BJP. BJP is pinning all its hopes on the third phase. Remember, the third phase is going to happen tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, meanwhile, for joining us this morning and sharing your perspective on that story. And with this, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more election news. Stay with us.
India and Africa, 55 countries, 1/3 of humanity. Massive business opportunity. Investment potential just waiting to be tapped. Watch a special report on India-Africa trade. India-Africa, a billion opportunities. At 5 p.m. on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. Now, electricity remains a poll promise in Bihar for many years now. The story is no different this time either. The state has come a long way as compared to a few years ago, but lots still needs to be done. So, we'll take a look at the state's power woes in our segment Spotlight today.
अगर बिजली नहीं पहुंचती मोदी जी, तो ये जो लोकसभा के चुनाव में आपका टेलीविजन पर जो प्रचार होता था, अब की बार मोदी सरकार, ये बच्चा बच्चा टेलीविजन देख के कहने लगा मम्मी पापा अब की बार मोदी सरकार, वह लाभ लेके गए। इतना भी एहसान नहीं है। अरे हम बिजली गांव में नहीं पहुंचाते तो टेलीविजन वाला प्रचार कोई देखता नहीं, आपको वोट नहीं भेटाता।
मैंने सपना देखा है मेरे भाइयों बहनों, 2022 जब आजादी के 75 साल होंगे, मैं हिंदुस्तान के हर गांव में 24 घंटे बिजली पहुंचाना चाहता हूं।
Electricity is a big election issue in Bihar. Several promises have been made over the years of uninterrupted power supply, but there has been very little difference in ground reality.
परिवर्तन तो आया। लालू जी के समय तो बिल्कुल अंधकार घुप अंधेरा रहता था चारों तरफ। नीतीश जी के समय कुछ सुधार हुआ है, लेकिन फिर अभी वही स्थिति, पहले जैसी ही स्थिति बन रही है।
People say as compared to the Congress or RJD rule, there have been several changes under the present regime, but still a lot needs to be done.
कागज पर शो करता है कि गांव-गांव में बिजली हो गई, जल रही है, लेकिन आज भी गांव में जा करके देखेंगे तो बिल्कुल ही बिजली नहीं है। शहर की जहां तक बात है, जो भी यहाँ स्टोरेज हैं, कोल्ड स्टोरेज वगैरह हैं या इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, बिजली के अभाव में सब बैठे पड़े हैं। हम समझते हैं कि सत्ता परिवर्तन अगर हुआ तो बिजली में 100% सुधार की उम्मीद की जा सकती है।
नहीं, कोई क्रांतिकारी बदलाव तो बिल्कुल नहीं आया है। जो थोड़ी बहुत जो सामान्य विकास की चीज़ें हैं वो तो होती ही हैं। वैसा ही बदलाव है कि अगर जहां बिजली नहीं पहुंची थी वहां बिजली पहुंच गई है तो लोग धंधों में लग गए हैं, लेकिन अभी भी कई ऐसे इलाके हैं जहां न बिजली पहुंची है अभी और न ही किसी के दिमाग में ये आ पा रहा है कि बिजली की कमी को कैसे दूर किया जाए। कोई खास असर नहीं दिखता है।
The entry of private players into the field of electricity supply has angered many. According to former Union Minister Raghuvansh Prasad Singh, there are instances where people get a bill of 10,000 rupee for lighting just one bulb.
बिजली जहां अच्छी दिखती है तो अर्बन इलाके में दिखती है, तो अर्बन इलाके से तो भारत और बिहार है नहीं। जो हमारी जो रूरल आबादी है, जिसकी संख्या बहुत ज़्यादा है और वो रियल भारत की आत्मा है, वहाँ तो आज भी बिजली नहीं है। और यदि कुछ पहुँची भी है या पहुँचने वाली भी है या कुछ भविष्य में जो पहुँचने वाली है, उसके लिए कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दिखता नहीं है। आज बिहार सरकार के पास ये सुपौल से लेके और पूर्णिया तक जो छोटी छोटी नदी है, उस पर आधारित बहुत सी योजनाएं फाइल में बंद है। आज से नहीं, पिछले 25 वर्षों से, जब से ये सामाजिक न्याय की सरकार आई है। आप उसको एग्जामिन कर लीजिए, लेकिन उसमें अभी तक वो सक्सेस नहीं हुआ या उस पर काम नहीं हुआ, या काम शुरू हुआ तो पूरी दृढ़ता के साथ उसको अचीव नहीं किया गया।
The condition of electricity supply in Bihar in 2010 was pitiable to say the least. The total supply of electricity then was about 350 megawatts, but now it is about 3,500 megawatts. 2 units, each capable of producing 195 megawatts of electricity, is operational at the Kanti Thermal Power Station since March 31st. 2 units capable of supplying 110 megawatts of power is in the renovation and modification stage and is expected to be ready by March next year. The Kanti Power Station is a joint venture between the state and the central government. The power station began in 1985-86, which was later on given to NTPC. There are 2 units of 210 megawatts capacity in Barauni, 3 units of 660 megawatt capacity in Nabinagar, but there are conditions for using power for these plants. Bihar is also buying power from other states. According to government records, there is no electricity in 1500 villages. Shishir Chaube's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, hundreds of villages in Bihar, even in this day and age, exist without electricity. Now shrouded in darkness, as soon as the dusk falls, the villagers and their children are looking for a way out of their powerlessness.
Dakshin Patchirba village in West Champaran district. In daylight, it resembles any other Indian village. But when night falls, you encounter its real problem. Even after 67 years, power supply is yet to make an appearance here. With neither power poles nor cables, the villagers live in an era of kerosene camps and lanterns.
बिजली नहीं है या रोशनी हम लोगों को बच्चों को पढ़ने के लिए सब माने बहुत दिक्कत होती है। इस गांव में जो रोड भी चाहिए, स्टेट बोरिंग भी चाहिए और जो भी सुविधा माने बिजली तो नामे निशान नहीं है। जब से आज़ादी मिली तब से यहाँ बिजली का कोई नामे निशान नहीं।
तकलीफ हो कीड़ा फतिंगा डर लगेला रोटी पकाए में अनहार रहेला और लड़कों का पढ़ाई के दिक्कत हो जाता साफ।
In an age where India is celebrating its foray into the Martian orbit, children of the villagers are living in darkness, trying to educate themselves in the light of these lamps.
हमारे घर में बिजली नहीं है, बिजली रहेगी तो हम लोग रोशनी से पढ़ सकेंगे। इसके लिए हम लोग पढ़ाई की दिक्कत हो रही है, बिजली नहीं है इसलिए।
Dakshin Patchirba isn't the only village in the state that has no electricity. In this respect, it shares its plight with thousands of other Indian villages. But villagers are hoping that these elections will usher in a change and bring them closer to power. From Betia, Ravin Sharan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it from me and the entire election team at the moment. Thanks so much for your time. News and updates continue on Rajya Sabha TV.